Some of my favourite videos that we do here on the FM Scout channel are the Cheap Beast videos, a series where we take a look at some of the best players in FM that you might not have heard of that you can pick up for bargain prices. They're always great value for money, and we have done countless of those so far, listed many players, but always in the comments you guys put your suggestions. So we thought today we're going to take some of them, take a look at some of your cheap beasts. We've got 15 in this list to look at today, and I can guarantee you the majority of these you'll never have heard of, and you'll find some new players to sign in your saves. Just to point out, today I will be using the standard Football Manager database from the winter update, as I imagine that's what most of you guys will be on. But just to let you know, we do have our own FM24 to FM25 DLC, which I'll link in the description. It's totally free, but if you download that, you'll not just get new Wonderkids and ability changes, but also promotions and relegations, updated transfers, and plenty more. We've done videos about it before, so if you want to check that out, you can find it in the description below. But to make this as accessible to as many people as possible, yes, I am using the standard Football Manager database from the winter update. So let's kick off our list with the first player recommended by you guys, and we are off to a bang really for the valuation that you can sign this player for. Now, he's a 19-year-old playing for Cesena. They're in the 3rd division of Italian football by the looks of it on the standard database, and his name is Matteo Francesconi. I mean, I'm not Italian and I know that pronunciation was terrible, but hopefully it was somewhere close. But this 19-year-old for only about £100,000 or so would be a great signing. He's obviously only 19, so he's got a lot of potential, but if you're, say, a championship level club looking for a young player to sign and develop into a star in the future, he could be a very good one. Yes, there's some weak attributes in there. He's supposedly a box-to-box midfielder, but isn't the best when it comes to the finishing and dribbling, but he works hard. There's some great mental attributes for the age, some good physicals too, and for that price, he definitely represents a cheap beast, and they're the kind of players that we're going to be looking at in today's video. I've got another 14 to get through, but if you do enjoy this video, if you get any use out of it at all, then smash the like button, subscribe for more, but most importantly today, let me know in the comments down below your favourite cheap beasts, and hopefully we can make a follow-up to this with your suggestions. Fear not though, whilst most of the players suggested to us by you guys tended to be Wonderkids, we do have some players that are a little bit older. In this example, we have a 23-year-old Belarusian international, Max Ebong, who has got a few goals for his international team. He's currently playing for Astana out in Kazakhstan. He used to play in Belarus. I've never heard of him in my life, to be honest, as far as I know, but in Football Manager, he's available for under £500,000, probably more like 200k, 300k, and you are getting a very well-rounded midfield option, a left-footed midfielder who can play a bit deeper or in that central midfield role. Is he Kevin De Bruyne? Is he Yaya Toure? No, of course he's not, but for this price, I think he is an absolute bargain because he's got passing range of a really high level, 14 passing, 12 vision, and 14 technique. He's got 14 marking, 13 positioning, 14 tackling, 13 work rate, so he's going to do the dirty work too. He's going to work hard, win the ball back, really good first touch, really good dribbling, and whilst he might lack in terms of goal-scoring ability with only 6 long shots and 6 finishing, I think you can forgive that for how good he is at everything else. Mind you, he's got pretty low determination, so that might cause you a little bit of an issue, but Maxi Bong, I mean, yeah, what a signing this would be. Another great suggestion. You guys are on a roll here. We had a comment about a centre-back as well, though, which is nice to see. A lot of people do tend to focus on the attackers when they recommend players to us, and this is Stephan Negru. The Irishman plays for Oxford United in the English divisions, and is a little bit more on the expensive side at £3 million or so, but of course, being in the English leagues, he's going to be at a slight premium. He joined Oxford United a few seasons ago by the looks of it from the Irish leagues with Shelbourne, and now we have a 20-year-old centre-back who's 6'2", so decent height, good physicals as well. He's fairly strong, good in the air, and not terrible when it comes to the pace side of things. Mentally, really well-rounded too. He's got a bit of ball-playing ability with 11 passing, nice tackling, marking, and positioning. The heading ability is there, which is always a bonus. Good dribbling, actually, for a centre-back, and great first touch too. He's someone that could be a very good, modern, ball-playing defender at full growth. Now, granted, I don't think he's really got the potential to play for a super high-level team, but if you're, say, you know, a championship team pushing for promotion, or maybe a Premier League relegation level team, take a look at him. He might not start for you straight away, but in a few years, there is definitely a player here that could impact your team and give you a great option at the back with years in the tank to get better too. Following up from that, we have a German under-21 international, also of a Japanese background. This is Shinta Appelkamp, who originally was playing in the Japanese leagues by the looks of it, but then made his way out to Dusseldorf in the German leagues. He's available available for £3 million or so, and because he's been at the club for a few years, he should be available. That doesn't go for all players in this list. Some of them you might have to wait until January to try and sign, as they might have only just recently signed for their clubs, but Appelkamp looks to be available, and he is a very good option. Again, I'm not really aware of him, I've never heard of him before, but he was suggested to us in the comments. He's good with both feet, he's quite versatile, but realistically will either play centre mid or with the attacking attributes he's got, I think, in that attacking midfield role. He's got 14 passing, 14 vision, and 14 technique, which is brilliant creative ability. He's got 14 free kicks as well, which is always nice to have. First touch, dribbling, finishing, corners, crossing, a bit of a set piece whiz here actually, with 12 penalty taken too. Nice mentals, nice physicals. This is actually a player that I'm looking at and thinking, if you can get him for 3 or 4 million and you do, you know, a season or two with him playing at a decent level, he's got the potential to grow a lot, but also I think you could sell this guy for £50 million or more if he picks up some kind of form, because there is clearly a very good player there. He could be an elite attacker. I've never heard of him. A great suggestion. The next suggested player I do think suits a cheap beast label, but be aware he is definitely more potential over starting ability. This is Arda Guler, who is a 16-year-old Turkish national. He's playing in the third tier of Turkish football and is available for an absolute measly fee of 200k, which for a player like this is incredible. I believe the comment mentioned that in real life he has now moved to one of the big clubs in Turkey. If that is true, if you are on the updated database, you might see that reflected, but either way, keep an eye on him, try and sign him if you can, because he has big potential. You can see as well with that 19 determination and some very good starting attributes like 15 technique, 13 dribbling, and 12 crossing. The 16-year-old could be something special. He might be worth scouting for a little bit and seeing how he gets on, because at 16, it's really hard to know how he's going to develop, but there's clearly talent here. There's clearly a player that could go to a very high level. If you see him at, say, 18 years of age, he is going to be a totally different prospect, so don't write him off just yet based on a few of these weak attributes that you can see. Give it time, and this guy, this right winger, could go to the very top. So we're 5 players into our 15, and I must say, so far, you guys are smashing it with your recommendations, but if you want to see more of these kind of bargain picks, then feel free to head over onto my channel, because I do some YouTube shorts about bargains that you can sign, and also I do some Football Manager rebuilds where we take over a struggling club and try and restore them to glory. I put a lot of effort into them. I think they are good bits of content, so if you'd like to give it a try, I do think you'd enjoy it. So thank you to anyone that goes and supports me over there on the road to 50k subs. But let's take a look at some more of these players. And our next cheap beast is one that I have signed many a time. Filippo Missori, the Italian right back. We spoke about him a few times on the channel, but he was actually listed in 2 different comments suggesting him, so I thought we should point him out. For anybody that doesn't know, I won't spend too long on him, but you can see 19 years of age, a fullback available for about 4 or 5 mil, one of the more expensive players in this list, I will say, but for the price, I mean, that is a bargain. You are looking at a Premier League level right back already for a lower level team, and he can grow genuinely into the best in the world in his position. I mean, he is a real true bargain. Great attributes in every area. In terms of attacking fullbacks, there isn't too many better. Does lack a little bit defensively, I guess, with a 10 marking, but still good positioning, good tackling. It's not like he can't defend. He's just much better when it comes to going forward. Good dribbling, first touch, passing ability, a brilliant fullback, and one you should all sign if you need one. But we take a big detour for our next player all the way over to the Japanese divisions, to Vissel Kobe. I believe that's the team that Andres Iniesta used to be at, but either way, if we go over to their club, you will find a Brazilian centre-back by the name of Matheus Thuler. He's played for Flamengo before, and then he made his move to Montpellier on loan. Now in the Japanese leagues, he's available for what, £1 million, 1.5 million maybe, for a centre-back that's not yet in his prime, so he's got plenty of years left ahead of him, yet he's actually a very good option. He's strong, he's good in the air, there's some good pace as well. 6'1" isn't too bad mentally, really well rounded, a nice bit of leadership, determination, the work rate's there, great positioning, he's got really good passing and technique. Whilst his vision might lack, he's very composed on the ball, he anticipates the game well, he's aggressive, good first touch, heading ability. This is probably one of the best picks that we got given in this video, because I've never heard of him, and I'm looking at him here and thinking he's not just, you know, Premier League level. If we use the English divisions as an example, he could play for a team finishing in, you know, 11th, 10th place position, and could probably still grow more than what we're seeing here, being only 24, like I say, not in his prime, but ready to play at the highest level. We've already been to Senya for one player, but we're here for another one as well. From the same comment, we were recommended another gem in the Italian leagues. This is Tommaso Berti, a 19-year-old yet again at the club, who can play central midfield. He's good with both feet and his attributes are very well rounded. He's a bit pricier than the other player we looked at the club. He's going to cost you about 500 or 600k, which again, for the amount of great attributes you're seeing on the screen, it's a bargain deal. Even if you weren't going to play him, you could loan him out for a season and easily make 4 or 5 million. And if you did play him, I mean, this could be a 20, 30 million pound midfielder, I feel, once he's grown a little bit. And there is room there to grow at only 19. Physicals aren't amazing, but they're not terrible either. Mentals are actually really good for a player of his age, and he could develop a lot from here too. And then technically, he's a good ball player, decent dribbler, nice first touch as well. You can't really ask for that much more for this kind of price. Probably more of a championship level player than I'd say a Premier League level one, but if he can grow, he could definitely get to that level. And it wouldn't be a cheap beast video without a trip to Bodo Glimt out in Norway. Now, they've got so many bargain players at the club. I mean, Patrick Berg being probably the most famous one at only 4 or 5 million, but this centre-back, 24 years of age and a former under-21 Norway international by the name of Odin Bjørtuft, is already a regular starter at one of the biggest sides in the nation. He's 6'2", can play midfield, but realistically is a centre-back with great physical ability, a really well-rounded talent in the area, mentally very strong too, and then he does the defending job great. 13 positioning, 15 marking as well. People are not going to get away from him. He can also play with a ball fairly well, 12 passing and 11 technique, and whilst he isn't an elite level centre-back, if you're, say, I don't know, let's say Burnley in the Championship trying to get promoted, you spend £1 million on this guy, and you've got a centre-back that could guide you to the Prem. Up next, we have a player that starts off the game out on loan, but will go back to his home club of Mainz after one season, at which point you might be able to sign him for around £3 million or so. His contract's only got a couple of years on it at Mainz, so you might be able to get yourself a bargain. And I think, again, you guys are smashing it with these recommendations. This is Paul Nebel, a German under-17 former international. He can play pretty much anywhere on the pitch, but realistically is an attacking midfielder, I would say. Maybe even central midfield with a tackling ability, but I just don't think he does that defensive job well enough, so I think realistically I'd want him a bit further forward. He's a good set piece taker, he's got great technique, nice passing and vision, the flair's there also, good first touch and dribbling, great natural fitness and stamina as well, with really good work rate, so you know he's going to work really hard for the team too. Obviously, only being 20, there are some years for him to get better. I've had a look at his potential and there is room for him to grow. In fact, he's got a lot of room to grow and could go on to be one of the chief creators for a mid-table Premier League side, I would say. I think at full growth, he's the kind of player that could fetch a price for around 40 or 45 million. So if you're able to get your hands on him from Mainz, if they're willing to let him go, this could be a bargain. We've got another centre-back to look at now, and it's actually quite refreshing that for once you guys are suggesting defenders and not always just strikers getting all the goals. This is Bright Arrey-Mbi, who has been around FM for a few years now. He is currently at Hanover, a regular starter, and at 20 years of age, I think he is definitely worth that price of around £2 million, maybe 3 million at a push. See what you can negotiate, because he's only got a couple years left on his deal, and he is certainly worth the money. 6'2", who likes to bring the ball out of defence with amazing physical attributes, really quick, strong, and great in the air. Now, mentally and technically, he does lack a little bit compared to some other players, but he's only 20, he's got years to get better, and there's some real key attributes that stand out. Yes, his decision making and concentration might not be great, but he makes up for it because he's super brave, super aggressive, he's decent with the ball at his feet as well, can dribble okay, and really, when it comes to defensive attributes, 14 tackling, 13 marking, and 12 positioning isn't actually that bad for a 20-year-old. I just think there are some elements of his game that are lacking a little bit, but if you can look to the side of that, maybe have him with a more technically gifted centre-back, let him be the aggressive stopper, he's a physical presence as well, this could be a great signing. 4 players left to go now, and we move on to another player that is currently on loan when you start your save. This is Kelvin Yeboah, who is a Genoa player but starts on loan at Standard Liège out in Belgium, which at this level, he is going to be a threat, and I think at an even higher level than the Belgian leagues, he could definitely still be so. He's quick, he's strong, he's good in the air. He's got the holy trinity of dribbling, finishing, and first touch at a decent level, and whilst he might not be the best passer in the world, there's certainly some great raw attributes that he can build off to be a good forward player. Now, at 23, I don't quite think he's ever going to be a world-class forward, but if you're looking for a bargain option, maybe someone to bring on from off the bench for a Premier League level club, he could be about at that level at the minute. I mean, as a striker, supposedly complete forward is his best role. I don't necessarily necessarily agree with that passing and vision. I don't think he'll link the game up as well. I think actually, as an advanced forward, trying to break that offside trap with that trait that he's got, that could prove to be very, very effective for him. I mean, he's been around the block in Austria, Italy, Germany, France, and now Belgium. Hopefully, if you can bring him to your club, he can settle and start scoring goals for you. 3 players to go, and I am saving my favourite till last, but this is a player that always gets suggested to us in the comments. It's Anan Khalaily. I don't know how you exactly pronounce it, but he plays for Maccabi Haifa, and at 18, he is a player with great ability, but also really good potential. I mean, he's very quick. That is obviously the main part of his game on the wing. The pace, the agility, the acceleration. Is he the best actually on the ball? Can't really pass very well, but can dribble, can get a shot off, and good first touch too. Apparently good heading ability as well, which is kind of out of nowhere. I mean, he is 6 foot, he does have good jumping reach. I kind of imagined him as a little like diminutive winger, but I guess not. He's great with both feet as well, and as far as potential goes in this list, he's got some of the most that we've spoken about. He's available for about £1 million, a true bargain, and someone that could help your team if you need him. 2 suggestions left though, and this one is one where I look at the picture, I look at the age, and I am not convinced that this guy is 17. It's Luca Vuskovic. Supposedly he is though. He plays for Dinamo Zagreb out in Croatia, but starts your games out on loan at Dubrava, again in the Croatian leagues. Now he is a central midfielder, also an attacking midfield option, who is pretty well rounded to be honest. There's not really anything crazy in his game, but also nothing terrible. I'd actually say his mentals are very well rounded for a player of only 17, to be perfectly honest with you. He likes to shoot from distance, he hits a long shot, does dive into tackles, so maybe you might want to train that out of his game. With only 9 tackling, he might end up doing some horror shows in there. Physically, maybe not the world's best, but there is certainly a lot here that is going for him, and for only a couple £1 million, this is the kind of player at 17 that by the time he's 19, 20 will look totally different and really could be an elite level midfielder. But now we move on to our final player of the video, so if you have enjoyed this one, please smash the like button for us and let's go check him out. This is my favourite player that was suggested to us. I came across his name, I think we might have spoken about him once a long time ago, but he kind of fell off my radar. It's Max Moerstedt, who is playing for Hoffenheim, available for about 3 million. And you look at his attributes, and if you didn't see the age, you'd assume he was already like 19, 20. But he's only 17, and his physicals are already crazy. They're only going to get better too. Decent strength, decent pace, fine. But he has got great jumping reach. He's 6'4". He can pass well. He's got good first touch, finishing. Again, nothing that's really like super stand out. I would say though, if you took away advanced forward and made him a target forward maybe, or even a deep line forward, he could do a really good job of it. I think he's someone that you should be keeping an eye on if you're after a youngster for that position, because at 17, he already looks like he can do it at a high-level championship level. Give it some time. I guarantee by the time he's 19, 20, this is a world-class forward. I really think he could do that. Yes, he's maybe not the speedy, get in behind, finish kind of strikers that you might be used to, but if you want a big man up top, maybe to play alongside someone a little bit different, or as the focal point of your team to help everyone else get in behind him, he could do a great job of it. I think he's a fantastic player. Good teamwork too, which is always nice. The flair's there also. So this is my favourite player. For 3 million, he is a cheap beast. But let me know yours in the comments down below. The more we get, the more chance there is of us making the next video to this, showcasing some of those guys. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.